Welcome to the Life of Being podcast, where we talk about all things life from a healthcare perspective all around the world. I'm your host, Kelly Tan, and in each episode, we'll explore stories, science, and wisdom to help you live well, think deeper, and express life fully. Let's begin. Today, we're joined by an exciting guest. We have Dr. Edmund Tso joining us from England. Dr. Edmund is a doctor of chiropractic who has been serving the Sussex community at Brit Chiro Clinic since 2017. Originally from Hong Kong, Dr. Edmund has been living in the UK since his teenage years, and prior to pursuing chiropractic in AECC, Dr. Edmund earned his degree in applied anatomy from the University of Bristol. Dr. Edmund takes care of people from all walks of life and understands the importance of optimal spinal and nervous system health in achieving the best quality of life. Outside of chiropractic, he leads a busy family life and is married with two young boys, aged 5 and 6. Dr. Edmund, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
Shall we start with your story? Like, what made you move into studying chiropractic? And then I didn't know that you had a degree in applied anatomy, so that's really interesting in terms of where you were and then moving into chiropractic. Because was it something in Hong Kong that you wanted to do, or is it in the UK? So how is it with the story for Dr. Edmund?
Yeah, I think most people have a story where they've seen a chiropractor, they got really inspired, got adjusted, want to be a chiropractor themselves. For me, I really fell into it. After I did Bristol University course, when I was back in my early days at school, secondary school, I did a lot of sports, and I really enjoyed the physical body. I enjoyed how it works. I enjoyed, feeling the function of the body, and that initially made me have passion into, just the workings of the human body, how it all works, how it all relates to performance and function. That led me to do a course in Bristol University, called anatomy, where I, delve into, further study, looking at cadavers, things like that. And when I graduated, I loved it even more, but I didn't know what to get into at the time. And it was actually a choice between osteopathy and chiropractic at the time.
Wow.
And my girlfriend back then, or wife now, she went to a chiropractor and obviously said that it was fantastic, had great results with the chiropractor. It was also the fact that she was training to be a teacher back then. And the course in Bournemouth was the closest to her course. and coincidentally that made me choose chiropractic.
Wow.
So I could have gone to London to study osteopathy. And actually, 8 years on, reflecting now, I'm so pleased I made that decision.
Wow.
To do chiropractic. And it's very hard to imagine after all this time that I still had that love. And whilst it's been a huge challenge in some ways, being a chiropractor, looking after people, I think it's been such a phenomenal journey. From start to now.
Tell me more about what drives you to stay that long in, I wouldn't say that, well, it's long, yes, because as you talked about before recording, that the statistic shows that people within 5 years of graduation will leave the profession for whatever reason, okay? But you've been almost a decade in chiropractic. What made you understand what chiropractic is and stay that long?
It's a very good question, Kelly.
Yeah.
It's a very good question. And what I say is that I have had quite a tough time in the first 3 years being a chiropractor. I remember growing a list from day one. Just going back a bit to how we all felt when we graduated. It was, you came out just not knowing what chiropractic really is, and you had the idea that you graduated, you're ready to help people, and you have the assumption people want that help as well. As much as you want to help them. And the thing with experience, you understand that it's very complicated, and it's not always as easy as it sounds. And what I think what's driven me all this time is a lot of different people that inspired me along the way. And also finding certain inspirational figures that spoke true chiropractic, that actually exposed me to what it really is, that kept me going. Because with all the realities of practice and all realities of, all the red tape and the stuff, and
Mm,
really you can get so bogged down
mm,
unless you really know what you're striving towards and
mm,
what that end image could be. For me, it was very difficult to keep going unless I had these role models.
mm. Who are your inspirational figure then? Do you want to give us a few that might inspire
Yeah,
people?
so the thing that I struggled with a lot was actually my adjusting skill
Mm, mm,
when I graduated. And to those that are still studying, or those that have recently graduated, or even for many years in practice, we would all agree that the adjusting part is the easiest to pass. It's
yeah.
the most fundamental skill in chiropractic. The thing that people can relate with chiropractic is
Mm,
the easiest thing to pass. And
let's go.
that just doesn't make sense. So
Mm,
I graduated, with that problem, and I began looking at how I can improve my adjusting,
mm,
and what adjusting really looks like,
mm,
outside the scope of the college, should we say.
mm.
And I've initially found Kairos training culture,
Oh,
which
nice.
was adjusting ninjas back then. And
Okay.
you can relate to the people who used to be at the gym in the morning. They do adjusting strikes, and they make
Yeah.
these funny sounds. And these are the people that wanted to adjust really well.
Mm,
And I was just 3 years behind them. So they were the guys that showed me what it really could be.
mm,
That it was a lot more about a type of treatment,
mm,
but it was more about the finesse, the art, the connection, the healing out of it, that I think I never really had the taste of,
yes.
in 5 years in clinic.
Yeah.
So from a adjusting standpoint, they were the ones initially sparked the interest in that there's a pathway towards mastery.
Mm,
I tapped into MLS, Mastery Love Science, I believe it's
mm,
called. And also through the years, Synthropy,
mm.
led by Aaron and Pat.
Yes.
And I say they're the ones that have truly been inspirational to me all the way along. And clearly, with all the other guys out there as well, training together and being better
Mm,
as a profession, as an art.
mm,
So for me, it was the adjusting that I felt was the reason why I felt that it was tricky in practice,
mm.
amongst many things I like to discuss with you today, of course.
Yeah. Other than adjusting, because that is, first of all, not most people think that that's adjusting is just like, it's just part of a toolbox.
Hmm.
And they'll just dive into all these different things except refining their adjusting skill. Did you notice this was a challenge when you're as a student, or like first year graduating, you feel like, okay, I'm meeting new people, they're paying me real money, and I don't know how to actually deliver the adjustment. When did you notice this shift?
I think there was the challenge definitely got really clear and real.
Mm,
Like going to my first year of practice, I think the inadequacy,
mm,
or the lack of skill, was somewhat clear as a student. But I
mm.
think somewhat you expect that you're still learning. It's reinforced by the fact that you're being paid half price in
Mm.
your final year,
Yeah,
treating patients, right?
yeah.
And I think when I graduated, it was when it got really clear
Mm,
that,
mm,
and you add in the fact that people are investing time and money to see
mm,
you, and you really haven't got that certainty that the skill that you have, first of all, is worth that money, but also
mm,
is worth their time,
mm, mm,
and that when you give them a care plan,
mm,
that you have that certainty, you have that real certainty in your eyes, in your energy, that you can
mm,
help them, and that they're in the right place. So I think that fundamental skill was a limiting factor in how certain I was when I made recommendations to a client.
mm, mm.
Is that sort of icky feeling you had inside you, that you sort of you know what to say, you know what works, but you have no experience of it. You haven't
Yes.
owned it yet.
Yeah.
And that's the internal conflict that I
Mm,
think many of us have had in the
yes.
first few years.
Yes, yes. And what made you shift from not knowing and having that internal conflict every time you come in to actually owning it and being certain with, hey, you're in the right place, I can help you?
a lot of it is I think that there's two things there. First thing is you have to have the right mindset.
Mm,
You need to understand that what you're offering is so powerful and so unique that they're in the right place for. So, you have to understand that there's a knowledge of that first of all.
mm,
Secondly, I think, as a provider of this service, of this gift, it's understanding that, you are in a place where you're really caring for people and
mm,
that you're offering, I guess part of yourself to help the other person. So there's a very powerful mindset around that approach. And as I went through different courses, you realize that actually, superficially, the
mm,
evidence is so clear that this is so safe, so powerful, so effective. So, there's different things that improve my certainty.
mm,
And more recently, I've been working with Dr. Danny Scarhill,
mm-hmm.
who runs the chiropractic mindset mastery.
Yes, yes.
So I've been coached by Danny for a year now.
Yeah.
And I also get emotional freedom technique by
Mm,
his partner, Claire
yeah.
Turner. And with these things, I've really grown in the mindset of
Mm,
offering chiropractic
mm,
in a way which don't burn me out.
yeah.
Because it's been clear to me that there are many ways of being certain
Mm,
without necessarily years in practice.
yes, yes.
And I think that's accelerated my certainty and confidence
Mm,
in obviously what we offer is something which people need. Yeah,
yes.
and it's a right place for them.
Mm. What is that one mindset shift that you would advise people who are uncertain, whether it's student, whether it's like 10 years in practice, they still don't know what
Mm,
they're offering? What is that one mindset shift they can actually unlock
yeah,
what they know?
I will simplify this question to hopefully a few sentences.
Yeah.
And the saying that's always come to mind, that Danny repeatedly
Mm,
tells me,
mm-hmm.
you know, is high intention, low attachment. High
Okay.
intention, low attachment. And there are people, clearly chiropractic is what they need.
Mm,
Wherever they are, in their journey, wherever diagnosis they have or whatnot,
mm,
everybody needs chiropractic. I'm very certain of that. But equally, it may not be ready for them. They might not want it. I realize that you can have the highest intention. They want to help somebody.
mm,
If they say no, or if they don't want to be helped by you,
mm,
you cannot make it by yourself.
mm,
That's where
mm,
the low attachment comes in. You cannot
mm,
you cannot make it by yourself, because if you do that, how would that affect how you show up for your next client?
mm,
How would that affects who you are as an individual, doesn't it? The service you provide, and whether they accept it or not, it shouldn't affect who you are. And
mm,
I've made that mistake. I've been doing that for the first 5 years in practice, perhaps,
mm,
and during these busier times when my list was completely full, I was content, I was happy,
mm,
I was in flow.
mm.
And when it got quieter, let's say, and people said no to care, I
Right.
really
Yeah.
yo-yoed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
really made it by myself. What did I
Mm,
do wrong? What did I say? So it was that I really struggled with for a
mm,
really long time. And when I when I heard him say the first few times, I was saying, what's that about? And it became clearer and clearer as we did more work,
mm.
accountable work in practice.
Yeah.
What that meant is mean that you and people, they attract to you. You
Okay.
know when you have that mindset that
Mm,
you're here to help them,
mm,
you're gonna give it your best to help them, but you don't need them. You don't need
mm.
them,
Yeah.
because it's for them.
Yeah.
Cares for them.
You can't make
Cares
it
not
by
for me.
yourself then. Yeah.
So it's that mindset where I think that will stop you from
Mm.
feeling like you're really attached to the situation.
Yeah. I have a good analogy by one of my
Yeah,
mentors that learned from Dr. Liam Shogel. So it's the
sure.
same as if you're giving a gold bar, you give it to a
Mm,
person. If the person says no, will you be sad? No, you just like give it to the next person. So that helped a lot. I think it's maybe
yes.
you and also maybe for students to know actually, no, actually.
There's also the four SWs,
Mm,
which is some will, some won't, so what, some are waiting.
mm. Was
It,
this
it really,
from Dr. Danny too, or?
yeah, Danny was the person I heard it from.
Wow, wow.
But it's again, it links in with the fact that you had the highest intention, but you didn't want it, no problem.
Yeah, we'll be here
No
if you do, yeah.
problem. I'm here to help my next client.
Mm,
So for me, to answer you shortly,
mm,
is you can be ready to help somebody,
Yeah.
But if they don't want it, don't make it about yourself. I
That's
think
very
clearly
important.
that there are things to learn from this
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but you mustn't make it like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Because
That's
that can
very
be a
good.
very common thing to have, I think, when you're
Mm.
trying to serve somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you're giving yourself as a chiropractor, right?
Mm.
You can really be like that. And I think that's the thing which one could struggle with
Mm.
initially.
As a successful doctor of chiropractic, where you're in almost a decade in serving the community in Sussex,
Mm.
what is the one life-changing conversation you had then that you would actually give to younger you so that you can actually accelerate growth earlier in a way? Or do you feel like this is the pathway you need to go through to reach where you are? Is there anything that you can help accelerate your growth?
Yes, there's many conversations I can recall, but
Mm.
the main theme is, it is not time that helps you grow faster.
Mm.
It's what you do with the time. I wished I had coaching when I first started.
Mm.
My first coaching or mentorship was like 6 years in practice, and I realized that had I started in my
Mm.
first year, my growth would be very different now.
Mm.
And in a way, I think also that if you have coaching later on,
Mm.
you can really relate to some of the things that perhaps you've not done correctly or you could have improved before. You
Mm.
can relate that to some of the coaching points. So I can see why there's benefits of
Mm.
having coaching later on and earlier on. For me personally, I'd say the best advice is have coaching and a
Mm.
mentor earlier on. And it is an investment. And my wife always asked me about the cost of the coaching and mentorship. And it's really rare outside chiropractic, at least from my point of view,
Mm.
that people pay that much money to improve themselves for personal growth. But what I say is that financially, should we say, on one hand,
Mm.
when I have coaching, my revenues at least tripled.
Mm. Yeah.
So there's no question about the investment level. But I think more significantly, the mindset change have allowed me to enjoy practice a lot more
Mm.
than I did for the first 5 6 years. I was doing a good job. I was a
Mm.
good chiropractor. I had a list of clients and so on, but I wasn't enjoying practice
Mm.
as much as I am now. And I think a lot of the challenges wasn't faced with the
Mm.
right attitude.
Mm. Mm.
So there's so much to learn the
Yeah.
first few years, and without the guidance of somebody that's been through it to begin, I think you can really walk blindly in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my experience.
What's the shift that you feel like, hey, I think I need to have a mentor or work with someone who knows coaching and everything? What's the shift?
The shift actually came after I began coaching. So Danny one day he showed
Mm.
me this promotional
Okay.
PowerPoint thing, and he was like, "Hey Ed, have a look at this. See what you think of it. Give
Ah.
me some feedback."
Yes.
And I looked at it and I said, "Actually, Danny, I want this for myself." So, but what I'm trying to say is that I was almost numbed to the fact
Mm.
that I required a mentor or a coach. I fell into a routine of things going well, not so well, then well again, then not so well.
Mm.
And I saw that as a normal rhythm
Mm.
within practice. And I saw that as a sort of a normal thing to go through. And it's not like I didn't know that I was coaching, but I just didn't. I was numb to the fact that I could improve with coaching and mentorship.
Mm.
So actually, the shift was actually happened after I began, when I realized
Wow.
that it was a good thing for me.
Wow. Wow.
And had he not showed me that, I would probably still be doing the same thing.
Mm.
So I keep going back to this coaching mentorship, and I
Mm.
really mean it in the, if there was one thing that you need to have, it is that.
So
You know,
Dr. Danny was your first coaching that you've had then, and you have really good experience
yeah,
with.
Doi Danny, he's been the knowledge that he shared with me, and the
Mm.
mindset, the accountability, the things that we did together,
Mm.
the books that he introduced me to read, he gave a whole package of things which
Mm.
complete the picture.
Mm.
And his approach, I find, works for me very, very well. So
Yeah,
I'm really grateful for
that's good.
uh, the help that he's given me
Yeah,
as
and I
well.
think for you to actually take action, because I'm assuming you ask most people, but not everyone takes the action. And even if you sign up, you still need to take action to improve it. So I think you're also putting an effort to improve yourself, isn't it?
And when I see my colleagues
Yeah.
who are striving to be better
Mm,
personally, professionally.
mm.
When I see the chiropractors in Syntropy, when I see the people that are going to these seminars and going to these places, and when I see you who's promoting a podcast and for others to share messages, and I think actually, you can be so much better, and you can
Yeah.
really reach higher. And
Mm,
I'm inspired by all these people as well to help
mm.
me keep on trying, keep on mission.
Yeah. And it's really amazing to see how things has been good, doing well for the last year for you, or obviously like you've tripled things, you've improved so much, you've widened your horizons, your mindset and everything. What is the some of the best books or resources that you would share and you think that everyone should actually study that or
Yeah,
like
so my
read it?
first book that I read was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway
Susan
by
Jeffers. Is
Susan
that by
Jeffers.
Dr. Danny? He
Yeah.
recommended the book too in the podcast that we had a
I
couple of
also
days ago.
read Embracing Uncertainty
Mm,
by the same author, which is a very similar book.
mm,
The idea is that to achieve great things, you have to you understand that fear is part of the growth process.
mm,
And it's fear being something which we try to avoid instinctively. But if you have a shift in how you see fear and how you see it as a part of a normal process,
mm,
then you remove barriers as to where your influence can be. That's one book that I felt was very powerful
mm,
to start the journey. Is of course, if there's fear in everything when you're trying to improve whatever it is you're improving. We all love
mm,
being in a comfort zone, but it's just not empowering to be that way. And it was a great book to kickstart my
mm.
coaching. My other books that I read was around a similar theme. So Simon Sinek, Start with
Mm.
Why, and that
Okay.
covers doing things with purpose, knowing why you're doing it
Mm-hmm.
rather than in what ways you're doing it or how you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes back to that mindset of having a purpose,
Mm.
having a mission, and being okay with the fear of going through the mission,
Mm.
going through that journey.
With that said, what is your purpose then, Dr. Edmund? What's your mission? What's your purpose? What's your why?
Yeah. I've been thinking about that question a lot lately.
Mm.
And without sounding so generic, I would say, it's to first of all, it's to inspire and it's to empower the people around me to understand their full potential. And I believe that chiropractic is a vehicle in which I'm doing that. I'm also doing it through a different vehicle, which I've taken up the last few months, and I lead a free men's early morning boot camp,
Mm.
which we have free workouts, and we have men to come to
Yes.
do house stuff together on,
Mm.
on car parks and grass and things.
Mm.
And we always end in a circle of trust where we have some male camaraderie, we have a sharing circle where we always speak out and always inspire and empower other
Mm.
men.
Mm.
So these are the vehicles in which I'm achieving.
Mm.
I'm trying to that I am achieving the mission
Mm.
that I feel on purpose with.
What inspired you to start a boot camp, an early morning man boot camp in, is it Horsham community or is it like
So it's
online?
Rudgwick, which is outside Horsham. It's,
Okay.
it's something that I taken up. So
Yeah.
physical activity is something which I've always done.
Yeah.
But the thing that I find with it is that even when I did a lot of it,
Yes.
sometimes I feel great in myself.
Mm.
Other times I feel terrible,
Mm.
even doing it. And I realized that what was missing is that community. It's
Mm.
that relationship with the other men
Mm.
that really was empowering.
Mm.
That created a shift in men
Mm.
where people go from a place where they're not empowered to do anything to a place where they become fit men that lead,
Mm.
men that are influential in the community.
Mm.
So I lead the group, and I'm inspired to take men through a journey
Mm.
where they can go from a place where they're struggling with life, they've bottled things up, emotions up, and problems and
Yes.
things, and
Yes. Yes.
we try to bring the men in, and we try to encourage them to speak out and
Mm.
work out together. And
Yes.
through community, we help them become better men with
Mm-hmm.
more potential to
Mm-hmm.
influence the family, kids, the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very, very similar thing with chiropractic in that when you take a client
Mm.
through a journey, I see it as I'm mentoring my clients,
Mm-hmm.
I'm coaching my
Mm-hmm.
clients. They might not see it that way. They might not be expecting that way. But really, I believe that we mentor our clients and we coach our clients.
Mm.
We take them to a higher place that is relevant to their lives. So it completely fits in with what I'm doing in chiropractic as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like you're helping this person, coaching, mentoring, but it's also not just this person you're affecting the family, the partner, the kids, and then affecting the
Yeah,
community.
and
So
it's
it's like
that
a
analogy, of
ripple
course,
effect.
of the ripple effect.
Exactly. It's the ripple effect,
Where
isn't it?
it's the same with if you are, if you successfully help a
Mm.
client
Mm.
with amazing chiropractic work
Mm-hmm.
and the lifestyle that you teach them,
Yes.
they in turn help the family, they show better for
Mm.
the families. And yeah, what comes back a lot is you just can't control
Yes.
anything. You have no control over anything. I mean, I think it's so challenging to influence mass people. But if you can just start with that one person, that few people that you
Mm.
can really influence, can really work with,
Yes.
then the effects of that you would never realize.
Yeah. It's
And I
just
think one must not lose sight of what that means.
that's a really great place to wrap up there. Before we end our conversation today, is there anything you'd like to leave the listeners?
Hmm. I would say that, chiropractic is I'm sure like many would say it is just an amazing gift and
Mm.
I think that that gift is realized through partly through time,
Mm.
but also through the help of others
Mm.
that have achieved that are going through a similar journey. It could be your fellow colleagues that are of a similar experience, mentors that have been through it. You can easily not understand truly
Mm.
gift that you hold until you're guided to really see that and to and the coaching I receive really helps me become a better person as well.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
you heard that you live a chiropractic lifestyle, and I think it is not separate to the way you live,
Mm.
and it's just part of who you are. And what I say is that yeah, stay connected, go to seminars, and really explore what there is to explore within the
Mm.
profession because it's fantastic and it's an amazing thing.
Mm. That's amazing. Really great advice over there. Where is the best place to find you then, Dr. Edmund? Where can people reach out to
So
you?
I can be contacted through my email.
Mm.
I Facebook as well. So my email is Mr. Edmund Tso at
Perfect.
hotmail.com.
Yep.
And if listeners have questions or
Yeah.
things they want to share or they can always contact me. I'm happy
Yeah.
to guide them and
Yeah.
give them some advice or some sort of direction.
Yeah.
But I do think that we're all going through a journey.
Mm.
I would not say that I'm anywhere sort of, I'm very
Mm.
much a student, I say, very much a student mindset.
Mm.
And yeah, Aaron from Cinchby, he mentioned about this, this black belt mentality. Yeah, the black belt, the
Yes.
white belt that showed up every single day.
Mm.
And when he or she achieved the black belt, they should
Mm.
think like a white belt. And I think that's what I try to be, is try and be a student, try and always learn from others and just keep going,
Great.
keep being better, keep serving.
It's a lifelong learning journey over there. We will leave your information in the description, and then we will look forward to speak with you really soon then, Dr. Emmon. Thank you for your time today.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Life of Being podcast. Let us know what is your one key takeaway from this episode. And if this conversation inspired you, share it with a friend who might find it helpful today. Until next time, take care of your health and take care of your being.